Hello and welcome back. If you've been here before, thank you for joining me. If it's new to you to listen to any of my things, I've been asked to record something to do with shifting fear and anxiety, and I've moved through a huge amount of fear in different ways in my life, and for me one of the important things that I find really helpful is breath control. Like historically, fear is actually a really useful thing for us to have. It prevents us from coming to harm. But when fear becomes incapacitating and stops you from doing the things that you want to do, then it's not helpful. So fear comes from in here, and it comes from our subconscious. When it's not, like if you're being chased by a lion or something, yes, be scared. But if you're scared of something that's yet to happen, if you're like anxious about something that hasn't yet happened, it's coming from your brain creating a story about something that you can't possibly know the outcome of. So your subconscious has taken something and run with it and made a story. And the way that you can control this, I'm not saying you can completely get rid of it, and I'm not suggesting for 1 second that it's easy, but one way you can help to control this is to actually acknowledge the thoughts that you're having and bring yourself, your mind, back into the present moment. So one way that you can help to deal with this, with these feelings, when your mind starts to run away from you, is to train your mind to come back into the present moment. And your mind, your brain is like a muscle. So like the first time you try and lift a heavy weight, you can't. But if you start with little weights and gradually build up, then it gets easier, and you can lift stronger. You can lift heavier and heavier things. So with meditation and with breath work, like the first time you do it, it might not, like I used to think it was a load of rubbish, and I hated it when I first started. If you stick at the breath work actually on a physiological level is like known, like really widely known now, that breath control actually really, really helps to calm your body and calm your mind. The reason it does that is there's a part of our brain that controls all of our automatic functions, so like your heartbeat, your blood pressure, digestion, all that kind of stuff, that we don't have any control over. And that's called your autonomic nervous system. And when you get stressed, when you get anxious, you release chemicals into your blood that activate your sympathetic nervous system, which causes your body to go into kind of a reactive state, ready for something dangerous. So the sympathetic nervous system is really helpful, like in life when you're running away from a tiger or a wild animal that's trying to eat you. But it's not very helpful when it's stopping you from doing something that you really want to do. And even in day-to-day life, like stress is one of the biggest causes of illness nowadays. And I think actually it's one of the biggest causes of pretty much everything. When you dig beneath the surface and you find out the root cause of everything, I think that stress is pretty much the underlying cause for everything. So what can we do? One thing that we do have control over that's an automatic function is breathing. So like you don't have to think all the time, I need to breathe, I need to breathe, I need to breathe, because when you fell asleep then you just stop breathing, and so we wouldn't last very long. So our breath is under like automatic control, but we can take over. So we have the power to consciously choose to breathe differently from how our brain is making us breathe. And the only other thing that we really have any sort of vague control over in terms of automatic function is vision, which might sound a bit random, but our eyes adjust. We don't have to think, oh, I need to focus on this or that. They automatically adjust. And when you're on alert, your eyes are like focus in on something. And when you're relaxed, your eyes are more relaxed. Like when you're in nature, your eyes are kind of looking around all over the place, and it's a very different thing. You're not like zooming in on one thing. So if you can soften your gaze if your eyes are open, we talk about like in yoga, so finding your drishti, your a focal point in the distance, and softening your gaze. That also helps to calm your mind. But the breath is one of the most powerful things. And by controlling our breath, we're kind of tricking our mind, or sending signals rather than tricking, because we are calm. We just want our mind to catch up with the rest of us, or our subconscious. So you're sending signals to your mind and also to your body, because our bodies pick up on so many things, that you're safe. So when your breath is slow, and particularly when you lengthen your exhalation, you're sending signals to your body, to your mind, that you are safe. There's nothing to run from, there's nothing to fear. You soften your gaze, everything starts to settle. So it's not the only way of overcoming fear, but if you can start to practice a really simple breathing technique, and I love simple, there are so many complicated breathing techniques out there, and it's not necessary when you first start learning about breath control, it's not necessary to learn 8,000 different techniques. Just a couple that you find really helpful that you can use at any time. So whatever situation you're in, you can just tune into your breath, notice how you're breathing, and then start to slow it down, like the diaphragmatic breathing that I talked about before. What I want to talk about today is box breathing or square breathing, my unscripted wobble. So box breathing or square breathing, we normally think about the breath as the inhalation and the exhalation. There's just two parts to it, so how can we make it a box? So we make it a box by adding in a pause. And I say pause rather than holding your breath because I think it has a totally different, I think words are really powerful. And if you say hold your breath, and that's something that you're almost like tensing up to do. Whereas if you just pause, so you inhale, and then you pause at the top of the breath when your lungs are full of air. So you pause, and then you exhale, and then you pause again. So instead of just the inhale, exhale, you have inhale, pause, exhale, pause. And you can almost imagine in your mind as well that you're drawing a box as you do this. So you inhale, you pause with the breath in, retaining the breath in your body. You exhale, and then you pause with the breath out. And you can make this four-sided shape whatever you want. It doesn't have to be a square. For example, if you want to lengthen the exhalation even more, then you can. So it's not going to be a square, it's going to be a, I don't know, rhombohedron, I don't know what they're called, something weird like that. So like the inhale can be shorter. And if you find it really hard to pause, then you can shorten them, but just acknowledge that there's a pause. So you don't have to hold for 4, you don't have to hold for whatever. But what I teach normally, and when you build up to this, and you can start to play around with it as well, that's the other thing. There are no rules, it's your body, so do whatever feels right to you. So you're going to inhale for a count of 4, if you want to. Inhale for a count of 4, through your nose if you can. And then pause at the top for your count of 4. So it's not 4 seconds, it's not for this, it's not for that. Exhale for a count of 4. And then you're going to pause when you're empty of air for 4. So each part of the box is 4 counts, and there are 4 sides to the box, or the rhombohedron, or whatever it is. Rhomboid, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to lead you through a breathing thing now. This is why I do everything separately, because it'll go on for hours. So you can do this seated, standing, lying down, whatever you want. If you're trying to calm down before you go to sleep or something, then obviously you can do it in bed. There are no rules, basically. There are no rules. It's your breath, it's your body. So whenever you want to try it. If you're somewhere where it's safe to, so not while driving or operating heavy machinery or doing anything important, like if you're lying down, you might even want to close your eyes. And you can use a diaphragmatic breathing technique with this as well. So you can also like breathe all the way into your belly, so your belly is expanding. I think it's really helpful before you start just to kind of like have a little body scan and just see how you feel and where you're at. So just starting to kind of like wind down, to leave the past behind, to not think about the future, and to just settle into this moment. So soften through your jaw, soften your shoulders, soften through your feet, your ankles. Just start to relax into your whole body. Tension tends to creep in without us noticing. So soften and relax through the whole of your body. And then you're going to start, if you can breathe through your nose, then please try to inhale, pause, exhale, everything through your nose. If you struggle to breathe through your nose, then breathe whatever way works for you. This is not meant to be hard. It's not meant to be a challenge. It's meant to help you relax. So when you're ready, you're going to inhale for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you count your breath. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. pause. And try and visualize this box in your mind. So as you inhale, the upside of the box. As you pause, you're drawing the top of the box. As you exhale, the other side of the box. And then pause, you draw the bottom of the box to join back up again. Inhale. Pause. Soften your face. Exhale. Pause. Draw the box with your mind. Inhale. Pause the top of the box. Exhale. Pause the bottom of the box. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Inhale. Pause. Soften your face, your eyes. Exhale. Pause. And you can keep going with this as long as you like. I have to stop because it's starting to make me feel super calm. I think this is a really helpful technique because of the visualization as well. So if you have a busy mind, if your mind's like just going off on one while you're trying to do this, then that's okay, that's completely normal. Try to notice the thought that you're having and then just remind yourself that you are not your thoughts, that this is just some random like burst of electricity that's come from your subconscious mind, that's not important at the minute. At the minute you're focusing on yourself, and bring yourself back to your breath, and do that as many times as you have to. It doesn't matter if like every breath you're having to do that. It's a process, and the first time you do it, like I said, you try to pick up like an 80 kilo bar the first time you try and lift weights. I don't know what's heavy, I don't lift weights. And you'd find it really difficult maybe, unless you're naturally like super strong. But you pick up a little one to start with, and you don't think that you failed because you're just doing it in bits, and you gradually build up to the big bar. So yeah, so let me know how you get on. A waffly video. And if there's anything you'd like to see, because I do get asked to do certain things and I don't know what people want. So yeah, let me know. And if you find it helpful, that's amazing. Thank you for being here. Bye.